Good evening. Thanks very much for joining us. The Uniting Church could evict its own emergency shelter residents before Christmas amid fire safety concerns. But the Reverend in charge says he will fight the order and stage a sit-in protest if Council, the Church and Fire Service can't agree to an interim arrangement allowing them to stay.
These people will be homeless at midday on Friday.
I don't have many options at all, really.
It's here, or we got to go and sleep at a bus stop or something like that. This is all we've got.
The residents of the Good Samaritan Ministry Centre were given 2.5 days' notice to find other accommodation.
We thought that they'd give us at least until the new year or something like that, and to find someplace a bit longer time.
The Queensland Fire Service is concerned the centre's fire hydrants are not powerful enough to reach the buildings at the back of the shelter, which aren't in use anyway.
The fire department have made it very clear to us on paper that all they're wanting from us is a plan or a policy put in place to show how we are going to rectify those particular deficiencies.
The Fire Service has accepted the centre's plan for a $25,000 upgrade of its pipe networks, but the church wants residents to move out during the works as a precaution, and repairs could take at least 2 weeks.
Yes, we need some updating to become completely compliant, but isn't it worth putting the funding in and making the fight for keeping a place like this?
Sue McComb was living in her car before the centre took her in, helped her find a job and permanent accommodation.
It's a community here, we're all helping each other.
It only adds to the local housing crisis, with hundreds of local people already having to queue for basic food and clothing. The Reverend says he will resign if residents are forcibly removed. Scott Forbes, 7 News.
The Good Samaritan Ministry Centre has been ordered to shut down by Friday because it doesn't comply with fire safety regulations.
With 2 young children and another on the way, Christmas is looking bleak for Scott Wrench and his family.
3.5 days to move out is pretty ridiculous, I think, and I don't know what to think.
He's one of 16 residents who are being forced to move out of the Good Samaritan Ministry Centre by noon on Friday. The crisis accommodation facility will be shut down because it can no longer be insured.
What we are asking is that the residents are able to be relocated off-site to a safer environment.
But many now fear they'll have nowhere to go in a city reeling from the highest homeless rate outside Brisbane.
I've just spoken to the Department of Communities and they've just said that the reality is there's no accommodation available, that it is virtually impossible to find real homes for people in 4 days.
I'm just really disappointed, as a place that's under the church and supposed to be full of love and care and that and compassion for everybody.
Residents were told the news through this letter last night. It says the building doesn't comply with fire safety standards or building regulations.
The main issue is the fire pressure. They believe the fire pressure can't reach, particularly it's the buildings in the middle there.
Uniting Care Queensland today arranged for government and community agencies to meet with residents and is confident they'll be relocated to safe housing.
It may be temporary, it may be permanent, but there'll be appropriate accommodation for every resident by Friday.
Renee Ball.